Rob, so help me, ever pull a stunt like that again?
Believe me, I'm in no hurry to go up against the mob again.
Why didn't you tell me that you were working undercover? I was about to throw you in jail.
You know how the NSB works. Total secrecy or they would have scrubbed the plan.
Yeah. You had me convinced that my future son-in-law was a hitman for the mob. You scared the daylights out of Cassie.
Believe me, that was the hardest part about this job. How much have you told her?
Only that you're in the clear and that you wanted to explain it all in person. She's called twice since she got back from Europe. She's very anxious to talk to you.
Oh, good. At least she hasn't given up on me. At least now I can finally tell her the truth. Cassie. Hi.
Hi, Dad.
Hello, sweetheart.
Okay, Rob. Start talking.
Please, you've got to let me in. It's an emergency.
No, call the police.
No, I don't want the cuffs. I just want a friend.
I don't know what I can do.
I'm Candy Sweet. Now, please, Lee promised me that if I was ever in trouble, that I could come here. And I am in trouble. Now, Mary Lynn, you are my last hope. You've got to help me. Because if you can't help me, I'm as good as dead.
Oh. Mr. Buchanan.
Please, Christine, lie back. You've just had a serious accident.
What happened?
Don't you remember anything?
I heard you praying for me. Or was I dreaming? Mrs. Buchanan, did I hear you say you're my mother?
Here's what to do when you don't find the rainbows in this time.
Oh, my, I'm sorry. I guess I just got pretty dizzy there all of a sudden.
Let me call the hospital.
Oh, no, it's all right. I'll be okay. I just need a hot meal or something.
Look, Miss...
Sweet, Candy, sweet. Oh, my, you are a beautiful girl, aren't you? No wonder Lee was so proud of you. You know, it broke her heart when your daddy took you away from her like that.
How do you know so much about my mother and me?
Oh, well, we were best friends through some pretty hard times. I guess I really should tell you the whole story. I'm a working girl, just like Lee used to be. But I'm gonna get out of this business if it's the last thing I do. Even if Eddie doesn't like the idea.
Who's Eddie?
My ex-boyfriend. Ex-boss. But I'm gonna get free of him. All I need is to keep a low profile for a while, you know, change my name, my hair color, the works, just like your mama did.
Well, if you were such good friends with my mother, why didn't you get in touch with us before now?
Oh, I wanted to many times. The day I read about Lee being killed, I just felt like I had lost the only friend I had in the whole world. Last night, I read your interview in Secrets of the Soaps. All the beautiful things that you said about her. Well, I just sat down on the couch and sobbed my eyes out. But then, you know, I put down that magazine and I walked straight out that door and onto the first bus I could find out of town. All the time I was hearing Lee's voice in my head telling me the longest journey starts with a single step. Oh, she was so brave. God, I miss her.
Yeah, I miss her too. But I don't see what I can do
Mary
for you.
Lynn, there's nobody in Nevada that I can trust, and I don't know anyone here in Landview, so who else could I turn to?
Wait a minute. I know who can help you. Renee Devine.
Who?
Well, if you worked with my mother in Nevada, you must know who Renee is.
Oh, of course, Renee. Sure. She came to Landview, too.
Yes, and I know she would be happy to help you.
Oh.
I'll give her a call right now and tell her that you're here.
No.
What's the matter?
Eddie knows Renee. And if she tried to help me, he'd kill her and me.
Well, then how do you think that you're going to be safe with me?
Because Eddie doesn't know that you're Lee's daughter. He'll just nose around the hotels and the homeless shelters for a while, and then he'll head back home. He'll never find me here.
Look, Candy, I don't think this is such a good idea.
Listen, I don't want any money, and I won't stay long. I just want a fighting chance to make good in my life the way your mother did.
Oh, it's cold out there. What do you say, you and I curl up in front of the fire now?
Candy, this is my husband, Wade Coleman. Wade, this is Candy Sweet. She's a friend of my mother's. And she'd like to stay overnight.
Mr. Cromwell.
Yes, ma'am. Is there any word on my daughter's condition?
No, sir, nothing new right now, but, you know, the cafeteria is closed, but there is a machine at the end of the hall, and they have some sandwich-type things, but they have some pretty good coffee.
You don't have to waste any subtlety on me, nurse. I get your drift.
Do you?
I'm not one of your patients. Furthermore, I know when I need something to eat or coffee, so don't worry about me. Let's just concentrate on my daughter's welfare, okay?
Well, it is Christine that I'm worried about. Mr. Carmel, she could come out of this thing any minute, and she's going to want to see you now. Are you going to be able to see her, sir?
If you think I'm going to pass out, you can think again. I'm as alert as the fire brigade, I can assure you of that.
Well, it looks like Christine means the world to you. I can see that.
Yes, we are closer than most fathers and daughters. When a little girl loses a mother, she has to rely on her old man.
I know. I lost my mother a long time ago, and if it weren't for my dad, I don't think I would have had the confidence to get on with my life. And to this very day, when I need somebody to talk to, I call him, first thing.
Can I ask you a personal question? If you found out that your father had kept a secret from you all your whole life long, would that destroy your feeling for him?
What kind of secret?
Well, let's just say he'd lied to you about something, and then you suddenly found out the whole truth.
Well, I don't pretend to know all the answers to even half of the questions, but I do know in a family you can solve even serious problems if you have at least two things going for you.
What's that?
Well, the first one's love. I feel like that can probably solve the woes of the world.
And the second one?
Trust. Even if you do have something in your past, it is never too late to go and tell the people that you love the truth.
I'm sorry that I was abrupt with you earlier. I could use a strong cup of coffee.
Could you? Well, if you just go down the hall that way and you take a right, you'll see it. And I'll go check on your Christine for you, okay?
Oh, thank you. What good is the truth if it destroys the people you love?
Mr. Buchanan, was I
Honey.
dreaming?
No, you're still very groggy from the anesthetic, that's all. Now, what do you remember about the accident?
But you didn't answer my question. I heard you praying for me.
Yes, we're all worried about
But you said I'm your daughter. Mrs.
Christine, this
Buchanan, tell me, is that what you said?
Yes.
Why?
Why? Because it's the truth. Because I am your mother.
That's impossible. My mother's name was Emily, and she died when I was a baby.
Christine, this is going to be very confusing for you. Your father and I had a relationship many, many years ago. And then we were separated. I didn't even know that you existed.
I don't understand.
I know you don't. Christine, when did she regain consciousness? Just now. Oh, that's wonderful. Helen, Greg, would you have Dr. Chorney come over to room 104 immediately, please? Yeah, thank you. I know the doctor's going to examine her, so if you wouldn't mind just stepping out for a second, that'd be great.
No, you can't leave now. I have to talk to her.
We have to do one thing at a time. First things first, okay?
Christine, I promise you I will explain everything to you, but you must see the doctor now. I'll be right outside.
No, I have to know.
Please, please, do me a favor. Now, just lay down for a second and be still. Okay, and breathe deep for me. Oh, that's great. That is really great. You're doing fine.
Has everybody gone crazy around here, or is it just me? Nurse,
Uh-huh.
I want to talk to my father. Now.
Oh, Cassie, it's so happy to see you.
I wish I could say the feeling was mutual, but first, I think you better tell me exactly what is going on.
I was working undercover for the National Security Bureau. Now, we tricked the mob into leading me directly to the guy who gave the orders to kill my father. We got him, Cassie. He's in jail.
Rob's being modest about his part in this, honey. He had to gain the confidence of some pretty treacherous characters. He had to be willing to walk in on them with a microphone strapped to his chest.
Are you out of your mind?
What? It was the only way to get the mob off our backs. When the NSB called me with the plan, I couldn't turn them down.
Put his life on the line, honey. I was on their hit list, remember? So was your mother and John.
The main thing is it's over. Like, and we can start over where we left off. Now, the worst thing was lying to you, Cassie.
Oh, hey, look, that's no problem. I mean, why tell your fiancé? These days, you just can't trust anybody, can you?
Hey, I wanted to tell you. But if the mob got any kind of a hint that I was conning them, we were all going to be chopped liver. Think about it, Cassie. I couldn't even tell your father, and he's the district attorney.
I understand that. All right, I do. I just think that a woman has a right to know the truth about the man she loves.
At least you didn't say loved. That tells me we still have a chance to start over and for the life that we planned.
Yeah, look, I got to take a break. I'm going to get a bite to eat, so you lock up if you leave before I get back.
Thanks, Herb. Well, is the disgruntled fiancée going to let me take her out and make up for all the heartache I've caused her?
How can you be so blasé about this? Do you realize that I was going crazy trying to find out if you were a mob hitman?
Look, now you've got the proof. Oh, you know how much I love you. All I want to do now is marry you and take care of you the rest of our lives.
What? Are you kidding me? Rob, you lied to me again. Forget it. There is no way I can trust you now. I absolutely cannot marry you.
Mary Lynn, do you two ladies know each other?
Well, you might say that I'm a friend of the family's. Her mother and I go way back. I hope you don't mind. I wouldn't ask, but I am in kind of a jam.
She just wants to stay a couple of days, Wade.
Look, Miss Sweet?
Call me Candy.
Candy. It's nothing personal, but, Mary Lynn and I usually consult each other before making these kinds of decisions.
Oh, please, don't be angry with Mary Lynn. It's just that it was such an emergency that I had nowhere else to turn.
I don't mean to be rude, but this is really not a good time for us to be having house guests.
Wade.
No, Mary Lynn, didn't you tell me about the Buchanans wanting to use our house for the wedding preparations?
Oh, boy, I guess my timing stinks as usual.
No. Now, wait a minute. I'm sure that we can work something out. After all, a wedding only lasts one day.
Yes, but it's a big wedding. It's a double wedding, you see, and there will be a lot of house guests. The Buchanans are our next-door neighbors, and we're friends of theirs, so we've told them we'd handle the overflow of people. You understand.
Wait, Tina said that she would just like to use our refrigerator for the caterers, and that's all. She didn't say anything about any guests, so I don't see why we can't find room for a friend of my mother's.
Do you mind if we, discuss this in private?
Oh, forgive me. I don't mean to cause any trouble at all. In fact, I've got an errand to run anyway, so I'll just leave you two to talk about this by yourselves.
No, that really won't be necessary.
I think that's a great idea. Thank you, Candy.
I don't mean to take advantage of your wife's hospitality, really. It's just that I'm in a terrible fix, and I had nowhere else to go. I'll just stop by a little later, Mary Lynn.
Oh, Candy, are you sure it's safe for you to go out?
Oh, yeah. I'll just be gone a little while, and you can tell me what you decide when I get back. Bye.
What the hell is this about? And what do you mean, safe to go out?
Wade Coleman, how could you be so cruel to that poor woman? Not only did you humiliate her, but you made me embarrassed to be your wife.
Leo, Christine is awake. She's talking.
Is she all right? What did she say? I have to see her.
Yes, she's going to be just fine. The doctor is examining her right now, and Brenda's going to call you as soon as he's finished.
Oh, Vicky, I thought I knew pain. But the thought of losing her.
Leo Cromwell, you were praying when I came in here, weren't you?
Indeed I was. Even a heathen like me prays at a time like this.
Well, whatever you said, it worked. Now that she's awake, there's every reason to believe she'll make a complete recovery.
I have to go and see her now.
Leo, wait a minute, please, before you see Christine. You have to know that, I told her that I'm a mother.
You what?
I'm sorry. I did not mean to do it. It just happened.
You've done exactly what I warned you not to do. Have you any idea what a shock like that could do to her?
Look, I'm sorry. I thought she was unconscious. Apparently, she heard me praying for the recovery of my daughter. I didn't know she could hear me.
I was going to break it to her gently after she was stronger. Now you've jeopardized everything.
For God's sake, Leo, I thought that she was dying. She asked me to explain what I said to her, what she thought she heard to me when she came to, and I tried to put her off, but I didn't want to lie to her.
Oh, you mean like I have done to her all these years? You might as well go ahead and say it.
Oh, Leo, no one could have foreseen what happened here today. The point is that she's alive and she's going to be well. That's what's important, isn't it?
You don't understand my daughter. She trusts me. She believes in the things I say. You don't know what her reaction is going to be when she suddenly realizes that her father has lied to her for 25 years.
Mr. Cromwell, your daughter's asking for you, sir.
Leo, have a little faith in Christine. She's strong enough to face the truth. You have to be strong enough to tell her.
Madge!
I know what's coming next.
I soaked in it.
Mary Lynn, I'm just trying to protect you. That's
From what?
From strangers who ring our doorbell and end up in my house uninvited.
She's a friend of my mother's.
How do you know that? Did your mother ever mention anything to you about this woman?
No, not by name.
Well,
but
there
she
you go.
always talked about the girls who didn't make it out, who were still suffering like she did.
How do you know this, Candy? How did she find you?
She read my article in Secrets of the Soaps.
Oh, great. That means she's probably some crazy fan of Fraternity Row. Tonight she sleeps over. Tomorrow she gets up and she writes an article, which goes in a soap opera magazine and is called How I Spent the Night at Mary Lynn Coleman's.
No, Wade. She's scared. She needs help.
Honey, you're way too trusting.
And you are too cynical. She is so afraid that her boyfriend is going to find her and take her back to a life of prostitution.
Boyfriend? I think the word you're looking for is pimp. All right. Let's just give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's say her story's true. That's the last thing we need around here is some crazed pimp with a chainsaw going after his favorite hooker.
Wade, I can't turn my back on her. My mother has told me all about girls like Candy. She said that they lived in fear so long that they're even afraid to run away. But Candy, she's had the courage to break free. The least we can do is give her a chance.
What are you talking about? Look, it's one thing to try and help somebody, but it's another thing altogether to put yourself in the line of fire. What does she want with you anyway? Why can't she just stay the night at a hotel?
Because she's afraid the guy who's after her will find her there.
Look, she's probably broke. Why don't I lend her some money for a couple of days? That's all right, isn't it? That's fair.
Wade, you don't understand.
Yes, I do. I understand that you want to help somebody. That's great. I just want to protect our privacy. So why don't we make a compromise and put her up in some hotel for the night, okay? But I'll tell you something. I don't care what excuses Candy Sweet gives us. She's not staying here tonight.
How come I have to carry all the little sticks of wood? You have the kindling wood, Joey. That's the most important. I can't start a fire without it.
Joey, please go and close the door. Be sure you lock it. It's windy tonight. It might blow open if you don't. Hurry up, Joey. We've got some very important things to talk about here.
I'm coming.
Now, boys, you know the wedding bells are going to be ringing soon.
Yeah, look at all these presents. Shouldn't somebody be unwrapping them?
Don't worry, they're not going to stay wrapped much longer.
Now, Joey, don't you want to practice for Aunt Tina's wedding?
Yeah, you have to carry the rings for Grandpa Renee and Tina and Court, too. I don't need any coaching. It isn't the first time. It's a snap.
Oh, good for you. Still, I'd like you to show me how you do it. Just once.
What do you say we have some hot chocolate first?
Okay.
I have 3 marshmallows in mine.
Oh, it's a deal. But please turn off the light first, okay?
Well, that was easier than I expected. So, this is the famous Buchanan Mansion, huh? Not bad. Yeah, there's nothing like a big wedding in the lap of luxury, is there? But what's a wedding without at least one surprise?
Vicky? Renee! Oh, gosh, it's so nice to see you here. Oh, darling. How's Christine doing? Is she still unconscious?
No, she came to about an hour ago. The doctors are amazed she's doing so incredibly well.
Oh, Lordy, thank heavens for that. Well, now, darling, maybe you're going to get another chance to tell her who you really are.
I just did it. And I made the biggest mistake in my life.
Why?
Because of the way I handled it. I mean, the poor child was just coming to, and she overheard me praying for the recovery of my daughter.
Darling, I think that would be angel music to her ears.
No, she's very confused now, and she probably thinks I'm a lunatic, and who can blame her? And then Brenda walked in the middle as I was trying to explain it to her, so I had to leave the poor child lying there in shock. It was just all wrong. It was not at all the way I wanted to tell her.
Well, darling, sometimes it's hard to understand, but life has an uncanny way of forcing us to reveal our secrets.
But that's not fair to Christine, is it? And she grew up believing she had this perfect mother, and now look what she's got. She's got me with my feet of clay.
Oh, Vicky, darling, I've seen lots of girls who've had fantasies about the kind of mother they wish they'd had, and they would have been grateful to have a real mother, problems or no, with real love, especially someone like you.
Yeah, but I'm not sure Christine's going to feel that way.
Darling, you should be shouting hallelujah from the rooftops. Don't you realize that you and your daughter have a second chance to find one another? And as soon as she understands this, she's going to be the happiest girl in the world.
I knew a little bump on the head couldn't stop my girl. You're a Cromwell through and through.
Am I? I'm really confused right now, and it's got nothing to do with this bump on my head.
Darling, you need to rest.
I need the truth. Vicky Buchanan doesn't strike me as a crazy person, Dad, but she was saying some pretty bizarre things in here.
Sweetheart, this is not the time.
My mother's dead, right?
Darling, you're just going to get yourself all upset.
She died when I was a baby, didn't she?
Darling, please, you need to sleep.
Vicky Buchanan can't possibly be my mother, can she?
I am going to go and get the doctor and get him
Don't
to
keep
read the...
changing the subject on me! Tell me that Mr. Buchanan is mistaken and I'll sleep just fine.
I'm just thinking of you. Can't we let this go till tomorrow?
I'm going to be having these questions hanging all over my head. I need to know the truth now, Dad.
All right. Mrs. Buchanan and I have been caught in a terrible deceit.
Are you telling me?
I'm telling you that Vicky Buchanan is your real mother.
The sun comes up, the sky wakes too, and everything smells fresh.
Do you think I would have lied to you if I had any other possible choice? I was only trying to protect you.
Now, that's what you said to me when you had to marry Joanna, that you were doing it to protect me from her father. Rob,
you promised me that you would never lie to me again.
Yeah, but this wasn't my idea. I told you, the NSB was pulling all the strings.
Oh, this is great. So what are we supposed to do the next time the NSB calls?
I swear to you, I will let the answering machine pick it up.
This is not a joke! I want a normal life with a husband that I can believe in.
We have that, don't you see? The mob business is finally out of the way. And we can be just like any other married couple, raising children, making a home for themselves.
You just don't get it, do you? This is not about the mob. It's about trust. It doesn't matter who we're dealing with. If I cannot trust you, our marriage will never work.
All right, how about a little faith from your end, Cassie? You let your ex-boyfriend convince you that I was a killer. Next thing I know, you were out of the country while I am on a high wire with a gun to my back.
Look, you are the one who chose to go solo. No. No matter how noble your intentions were, your lies have come between us once too often. I was so happy when you asked me to marry you. I mean, after everything that we had been through together, I felt like we had finally made it to the top of this huge mountain together.
We have, Cass. Don't you see? No matter how tough it gets, we were always meant to be together.
No. No, we weren't.
Cassie. Cassie, I love you.
If you really love me, then you'll let me go.
All right. Fine, if that's the way you want it. Any other woman would understand what I went through for us. But if you can't understand it, then you're probably right. We should end it right here. So consider it done, Cassie. I'm out of your life.
There is no justice in this world, is there? Good people suffer, and an evil woman like Tina Roberts gets to live like a queen. After what she did, murdering Patrick's baby, and then my dear daddy, she should be rotting in a jail cell. Instead, people are showering her with presents, aren't they? To Tina, with all our affection, Delilah and Rafe Garretson. That figures. Even the cops are on her side. What have we here? Oh, a sterling silver dish for sweets. For the woman who has everything and doesn't deserve it. Well, I do. After all, something old, something new, something that once belonged to you. Think I'll borrow it. You'll be blue.
How could you lie to me about something as important as my own mother?
It was because I loved you that I shaded the truth. Life can be very cruel, Christine. That's why I vowed to keep the real truth about your mother from you, at least until you were grown up.
So you thought that deceiving me was a sign of affection? Oh, please.
What did I do? I created a wonderful image of a mother, someone that you could look up to and have some trust and faith and love for, so that when you talked to other little girls in school and they talked about their mothers, you wouldn't feel left out. And as it comes down to it, it wasn't such a big lie.
What are you talking about?
Vicky Buchanan. She's a warm, loving person. She's about as close as you could get to that real mother.
Excuse me, but warm, loving mothers do not abandon their babies.
Darling, you weren't abandoned. When I told you that Mother was taken away from you, I wasn't lying, only it wasn't death that separated us.
I don't want to hear any more of your lies tonight, Dad.
Well, you can believe this or not, but this is the truth. Your mother was kidnapped while she was still pregnant with you.
Kidnapped by who?
By her own father.
This.
Well, it's true. She was kidnapped. Now, I went to the police when it happened, but they were no help in finding her. I called everyone. I searched everywhere to no avail. Finally, when I had given up hope, I returned to my room one day and found a distinguished-looking gentleman waiting for me.
Who was he?
Well, I didn't know it at the time, but it was Victor Lord, Vicky's father. And he told me in so many words, now you can keep your daughter on one condition, that you forget that her mother ever existed.
And you agreed?
No, of course not. I demanded to know what had happened to her. But all he would tell me was that she was all right and that she was alive. And that if I ever tried to find her, they would harm you.
So you let him get away?
But I had to. Darling, he was a powerful, dangerous man. I couldn't take any risks that they would come and try and harm you.
So you just let him never see the woman that you loved again?
No, of course not. I tried to find out who the man was. I went to the police again. But it didn't come to anything. I always came up against a dead end.
All right. You can stop now. You expect me to believe that someone as prominent as Victoria Buchanan could just up and disappear without a trace?
Well, darling, it's more complicated than that.
Didn't you once tell me that only lies are complicated?
You haven't heard the whole story.
I've heard enough. Stories like this, they just come too easily to you. Dad, why are you doing this to me? How do you ever expect me to trust you again?
Oh, Lordy, the coffee around here is not so bad, but boy, howdy, the sandwiches leave something to be desired. Renee, you don't have to sit here with me, you know. Good heavens, you're getting married soon. You must have a million things to do. 2 million, that's why I'm sitting here with you. It seemed like the logical solution. Besides, I have something I want you to hear.
Oh. Vicky, Rafe Garrettson just called from headquarters.
Really? Did they find the woman who attacked Christine?
No, but they have a lead on somebody else, and he thinks that you and the family should know about this.
Who?
Ursula Blackwell.
Lordy, that's the woman who held Tina captive in the lighthouse. Yes, it sure is, and she swore she'd take revenge on Tina. But she's a murderer. Don't tell me she's back in Landview.
All right, take it easy, Vicky, because if the police are correct, she is a long way from here by now.
Well, what did Rafe say?
Well, evidently, the Canadian police have spotted a woman that fits her description.
She's in Canada?
Well, apparently they picked her up for shoplifting someplace, and that's what they're doing right now. They're fingerprinting her so they can get a positive ID. But listen, I gotta go to work, and he just wanted you to be aware of this, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. Oh, thank heavens that's solved and Tina's safe. Whew. Oh, darling, you know, before Brenda came in, there was something I wanted to tell you about the wedding.
Yes.
I sent invitations to all those old friends of Ace's, you know, the ones I told you about.
Oh, in Texas?
Yes. And Zeke Bingham, Red Hackett, and Dusty King are all flying in, especially for the wedding.
Oh, you're kidding. That's wonderful.
I just hope they show up wearing their Stetsons. Otherwise, I might not recognize them.
That's wonderful. Does Asa know?
Nope, total surprise.
That'll be wonderful. And Clint and Bo are going to be delighted, too.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's drink a toast to the 2 Mrs. Buchanans and the new Mrs. Roberts. Cheers to that.
What happened? Why aren't you home with Rob?
I told him to get out.
Oh, baby, what's wrong?
The same thing that is wrong every time, Dad. He's a liar, all right? There is no way I can marry Rob now.
Honey, he loves you and you love him.
I never said I didn't love him. I guess I am just realizing that honesty is just too important.
Cassie, Rob chose to do what he thought was best for you, not for him.
I know, but I am tired of being hurt and lied to because that supposedly is what's best for me. I don't believe that that's what love is all about.
Well, now, wait just a minute. Now, who have you been in love with all this time, Rob, or your own image of the perfect man?
I thought I did love him. I really thought he'd changed.
But you've known all along that his family was connected to the mob. You must have understood that it would take something like this for him to break free.
Dad, every time I think he's really free, something else happens.
Well, I think he's serious this time.
Oh, this is great. So what do? I marry him. I have his children. And then I find out that I can't trust him?
You see, if I thought that would happen, I wouldn't be encouraging you.
Since when are you on his side?
Sweetheart, I'm on your side. All I've ever wanted for you was to be happy with a man who truly cared about you.
I know that. I know. And I want that too. I do. But I think the next time I walk down the aisle, I know one thing for sure. It won't be with Rob.
Now I want to tell you a story. Do you remember the story you told me about the beautiful lady with the long black hair who fell in love with the struggling archaeologist? And together they were going to change the world. And they were going to make it a better place for their new little girl. But the lady died before the little girl ever got to know her.
Well, you don't need stories anymore. Your real mother is right outside that door, and she loves you very much.
My real mother is dead.
Please.
I'm sorry, Dad, but you can't take her memory away from me now.
Darling, I never thought that in 1,000,000 years we would find her again. I had to tell you she was dead. Otherwise, you would have spent your whole life looking for her, longing for her.
Fine! I'm sorry, but that childhood memory is stronger than 10 Victoria Buchanan's.
Darling, you're not strong enough to deal with this now.
Don't you give me your phony sympathy. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have a father or a mother, so just get out of here!
Pilot to go, pilot. Ready for takeoff.
Roger.
Well, I guess she found another place to crash for the night.
Well, who could blame her after the way you rolled out the welcome mat for her?
So sorry I took so long. I got bumped off the quick check line at the grocery store for having more than 10 items. Can you believe it? I tell you, it's a jungle out there.
Candy, I think we need to talk about this.
Oh, listen, if you don't want me to stay, I'm ready to turn around and get out of the way.
Then why did you buy groceries?
Wait.
Oh, no, it's a perfectly legitimate question. I just wanted to make up for any trouble that I caused the two of you. I'd hate to be the cause of a lover's quarrel. Seeing as how tomorrow is Thanksgiving, I just thought that, well, I would love to make you my famous cranberry glazed turkey.
You bought the groceries to make us dinner?
Sure. Well, it's the least I can do to make up for your hospitality. Well, of course, you still may not want me to stay, but I suppose you've spent all this time trying to figure out what to do with me, right?
Candy, I feel awful about
this.
this.
No, it's all right. I understand your husband is just looking out for you, but please, just let me make Thanksgiving dinner for the three of us. And then tomorrow I'll find another place to hide out, and you'll never have to worry about Candy Sweet again.
Candy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw you out onto the streets. Mary Lynn told me about your problem, and if you really don't have another place to stay tonight, you're welcome in my home.
Really?
Well, he wouldn't say it if he didn't mean it.
Oh, golly, that's wonderful. Well, now we'll all three have something to be thankful for, won't we?
Well, I'll go get the guest room made up for you.
Thanks.
I'll help.
Now, let's see. Did that stupid girl at the checkout counter forget anything? Oh, no, here we are. What every home should have.
Vicki, darling, now, come on. Pay attention. Sorry. Because the priest at St. John's told us we have to really be straight about this because we might not get any kind of rehearsal. I'm listening. All right, now, let's see. The two nervous grooms will be right here, and Tina will be right next to them, and then her matron of honor, Madame, will be right here. You know, the more I look at this plan, the crazier I think we all are. Have you ever seen this many people at an altar all at one time? I hope the photographer has a lot of film. We're going to keep him pretty busy. You know, Vicki, all my life I've wanted to be part of a great, big, happy family. Next time you should be more careful what you wish for, because now you're stuck with us.
Never, ever tell me how to handle my daughter again.
What happened?
I thought Christine was going to die today, and now God, in his infinite irony, has spared her life only to take her love from me. You have destroyed our happiness. She never wants to speak to me again.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry. Let me go and talk to her. I think I understand how she feels.
She doesn't want to see you either.
What did she say?
Vicki, you are so concerned with the truth. Now it is you that have to face it. Tonight, we both lost a daughter forever.
The C&C says lots of things, and you learn them all when you pull some strings. You hear a horse and a cow that you learn some letters and verses.